Okay. Camp Arrow 2025. Hands down, all-time favorites. I remember finding Arrow back reading a horror hound magazine, seeing an article on it. So many amazing titles. Almost too many to choose from. Let's face it, I'm not here to do that today. Sadly, I'm here to just choose 10. Welcome to the Call to Cinema. And this is one that's been asked about for a long time. So it's time to just choose 10 Arrow video. And this is going to be the hardest one. I was living in St. John's at the time, and I'd gone to my local Chapters, Kohl's, whatever you want to call it. It's the Canadian version of Barnes & Noble, without the movies, unfortunately, anymore. And I went to the magazine rack to check out the horror magazines, because I was always buying ones to read when I was at work or when I got off. And I saw Horror Hound, and it had A Year in Horror 1981. I'm an 80s kid, and 81 is one of my favorite years of all time. Why go down this memory lane in a just a 10 of us video? Well, see, I got home excited to open up and read The Year in 1981, one of my favorite years of horror, by the way. And what did I see but an article on this company called Arrow Video? Now, I'd heard of them before, but I had just basically cursorily heard of them. As I read through the article and saw the pictures with their special window box cases and their posters and that, I couldn't believe the work and love that were put into what were some of my favorite films. Arrow Video would be the company that I didn't realize got me. I had always thought that was Scream Factory. They got my early 80s stuff, they got my slasher stuff. But Arrow understood the type of titles that I watched, the ones that I watched and was proud to talk about, and the ones that I'd watched at a local theater because they couldn't afford to get some of the bigger, more newer titles. I grew up on a diet of Argento and early Jackie Chan films in the theater because my local theater wasn't able to get anything except maybe E.T. for the weekend. And if we're really, really lucky, a Rick Springfield movie called Hard to Hold. Today, we are looking at the Just the 10 Arrow video. It's probably one of the most anticipated and most feared ones that I have to do. As always in a Just the 10, I am choosing 9 Blu-rays, and 1 box set for Arrow. It was really, really hard. I have probably a bigger Arrow collection than anything else in my boutique label library. And if there's another company aside from Scream that knows exactly the soul of Aaron when it comes to collecting, it is Arrow Video, and in a more eclectic way. So there was much more to choose from. Now, did I veer off into things that I didn't think I was going to do? Did I go with the usual slasher? Well, you're about to find out, because we're going to dive into it. And as always, we're doing this like I'm being sent to an island for 10 to 15 years. Who knows what horrible crime I've committed, or maybe they just want to get me away and shut me up for a little bit. So I'm going to be choosing my 9 Blu-rays, my 1 box set that I can be watching over and over again during that time period from this boutique label. If you want to let me know what yours are, and I really bet a lot of you are going to, in the comment section down below, I cannot wait to hear it. And if you are a content creator and you want to do a video response with your own Arrow video choices, come on, I challenge you. This one actually is a challenge. So if you see this and you're a content creator, I'm challenging you to do this to Arrow, because this is a hard one. Without farther ado, let's hit the 9. I went through a few different times trying to decide which ones I was going to choose, looking at movies, special features, rewatchability, all that type of thing. Trying to think of things I want to watch if I was on an island for the last 15 years. I try to put myself into that mindset. But one of the first that I chose may not have been the most cheery film, but it's a favorite of mine, and it is White of the Eye by Donald Cammell. So, if you've never seen this movie, I saw this movie initially on VHS, and I'm pretty sure we owned this when we used to own a convenience store, and my mom would run it. We had like a movie section, and we bought a whole bunch of VHS, and unfortunately, the guy that had sold us the VHS, all the cases of the VHSs, and had been like gone missing, and some of them didn't even have like the names of the movies on there. So I had to watch every one of the movies and give little descriptions for them before we put them onto the shelf for rentals. And one of them was White of the Eye, and I remember watching this one, and it kind of blew my mind. So it stars David Keith and Kathy Moriarty, and it is a what could have been a slasher film, just a regular slasher film. But Donald Cammell is not that type of director. He takes even what could be the most mundane or mediocre kernel of cinema and turns it into something unique and challenging and absolutely genius. And he does that here with White of the Eye. Unfortunately, his life was kind of tragic in that it ended way, way shorter than it should have. What makes this version of White of the Eye even more special is it includes the ultimate performance on here, which is a feature-length documentary on Donald Cammell, his life, his creations. It's everything that you're going to want to know. And trust me, as much as I love Void the Eye, and I've watched this a few times, I've watched the documentary more. And the Scream Factory edition doesn't include the documentary on it. This is the only edition that has a documentary. So I recommend, if you have the chance and you can get it, if it's available, pick this up. Watch the film. It's a fantastic film. The performances in this are just phenomenal. And that documentary is just chef's kiss good. All right, we are hinting Giallo territory. You know I'm going to, because I'm a Giallo baby. I grew up with this stuff. This is my jam. What Have You Done to Solange is a favorite of mine. Now, when I saw this initially, I don't think I knew that it was Camille Keaton that was the titular character in the film. I would find that out a few years later, but pre-internet, but still kind of shocked at the time. This also has Christina Gallibo, who is in The Living Dead at the Manchester Morgue, which is a film I talked about more recently on another video, Just a 10. Check it out. But this one is really, really good. It is an absolutely fantastic Giallo, and it is different. And there's, aside from having like some really great red herrings, the story behind this one, both behind the scenes and on camera, it's absolutely fascinating and fantastic. I love this movie, and I can sit down and watch this anytime. It's got an Ennio Morricone score, so you know the music in it is going to be epically great. My little kitty over there, I think I just gave her a fright. She walked away. My Petunia, she's my flower girl cat. But what have you done to Solange? If you've never seen it, go in as blind as possible, because it's a really good one. I love that film. We're going from that to the world of neo-noir. When I'm making a video on here, a lot of the times I'll put music on. Especially if I'm by myself, I'll put music on before I start the video. It'll hype me into getting on camera and just spouting out whatever it is I'm spouting out, or reading something if I've got something scripted. And the music that I listen to is often the theme song to this movie right here. It is To Live and Die in LA, which is one of my favorite songs of all time by Wang Chung, and it's just such a wonderful, it hypes me up to make videos. It really does. This is a great film. If you've never seen it, it's directed by William Friedkin, and it stars William Peterson. So William Peterson, of course, would go on to become famous in the series, well, CSI. But it was this film here, this one and Manhunter, that had gotten him a notice when it came to when it came to, I'm being distracted right now. when it came to getting CSI, he was actually given a contract by CBS to pick up to get, like, just to read scripts and decide when they found one that would be a good TV show for him. Obviously, he's good at reading scripts because he chose CSI, which is a fantastic series. But To Live and Die in LA, if you've never seen it, it's a wonderful neo-noir. Every character in this one kind of just is incredible. It's got a young Willem Dafoe playing an extremely, like, he's a bad guy in this, and he kind of looks like Skarsgård. So if you go back and look at it, there's a similarity. Just go check it out. It's just such a great film. The soundtrack, the look of the film. I was shocked when I went back and watched it again and realized that it was William Friedkin, because I'd always seen that film, and I thought I always got Michael Mann vibes because of things like Miami Vice and stuff like that. It had that style to it. If you like Miami Vice, you're gonna love To Live and Die in LA. All right, this one on the VHS era had two separate cases. There was a pink case and a blue case. If I'm correct, the blue case was for the theatrical edition, and if you were lucky enough to get it at the time and rent it when it had the pink case, that was unrated. So, and that was normally the one that you wanted to get, because Ken Russell's Crimes of Passion is one of his best films. It's great character work with Kathleen Turner and Anthony Perkins, and I adore this movie. I can sit down and watch this one just day to night, back to back. I grew up like idolizing Anthony Perkins as being a bit of a slender fellow myself growing up. It was nice to see somebody that kind of like what I felt like, in a weird way, represented what I thought if I went to Hollywood, the type of roles that I would be going for, the Anthony Perkins style stuff, the weird stuff. Look at me, I'm not going for that super leading man role. But Kathleen Turner and Anthony Perkins are great in this. Kathleen Turner plays this prostitute, and Anthony Perkins plays this sort of like street preacher that may be a serial killer. You'll find out when you watch the film. But the character of China Blue is extremely interesting, and I recommend that you check out Crimes of Passion. It's a wonderful film. Do you know what I'm noticing as I'm doing this Arrow video, just the 10? And I'm going to put it out there right now. This is probably some of the best movies that I've put in a just the 10 list. Like, as in, like, oh, these are movies that could be like top quality, top 10 type of movies. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn, and I'm going to totally sync that whole idea with my next pick, because I am choosing Blood Rage. Because you know what? That isn't cranberry sauce. Blood Rage is an absolutely fun, and don't worry, yes, I do have the slipcover edition of this. I just got my slipcover put away for safekeeping right now. But Blood Rage is such a fun addition to my collection. I was so excited to get this. Basically, there's twins, and like, I guess was normal in the day, the mother decides that she's going on a date where she can go to like a drive-in movie and get nasty in the front seat. Well, her two twin sons are in the back seat. I know. She's the epic parent. But unfortunately, what happens is the sons take off, and one of the sons, well, he's a little psychotic, and he kills a couple at the drive-in. Then he frames it on his brother. His brother goes away to an asylum, and years later, his brother escapes, and, well, murders happen again. And it's not cranberry sauce. It's a fantastic film. You know, there's certain lines that are kind of really quotable. The acting in this is actually really, really good. I adore this movie. Louise Lasser from Mary Hartman, if you're my age, that's a show you probably grew up with, is the mother in this. And she plays this really weird, eclectic, unusual, out there performance that is almost too good for this film. But this film is better than you think it's going to be. And I went between this one and Mutilator, and at the end of the day, although Mutilator has a more likable cast, I do love this film, and I love the heartbreaking ending that it gives us. I've watched this one so many times. It's a Thanksgiving movie, and if I'm going to be on an island for 10 to 15 years, I got to have me some holiday horror, and I got to celebrate Thanksgiving, even if I can't have the cranberry sauce. Bloodbath. The one edition that I've chosen, probably not as much for the movie as it is for the documentary that comes with it. See, there are alternate versions of Bloodbath on here. Very different, unique takes on the film. See, when Corman made this, he did it, he took like Yugoslavian footage from another film and put it together with other footage and made, well, 3 different films. often three very, very different films. But the documentary on this, and really kind of like diving into and seeing what Corman did and would do with with foreign footage, like to bring it in and make his own film, and at sometimes like recut it to make other films to try and make it even more successful, is an absolutely fascinating study in filmmaking. And Bloodbath is a fun watch, and as so are the other two. But it's the documentary overall that sold me on this one. And I knew I got to have me some good documentaries. And who knows, maybe I'm going to get the all the animals together and make my own island film that I can sell to the descendants of Corman, so they can make their own Bloodbath too. We've gone back to Giallo again, but this is one of the greatest Giallos ever made, hands down. And it's not by Dario Argento. No, it is by Lucio Fulci. Don't Torture a Duckling is Fulci for me at his absolute best. I love his trilogy, but the Gates Hell trilogy. But this here is top tier, best Fulci, hands down for me. Don't Torture a Duckling is just such a wonderfully good film. It definitely takes some shots at things that Fulci had some issues with at the time, especially as we get later in the film. And it's not your normal Giallo. See, this isn't like the normal girls taking off their clothes and getting killed Giallo. No, the victims in this one here are a little bit more disturbing. You see, the victims in Don't Torture a Duckling are young boys, as opposed to nubile teens, 20-somethings women. And that puts a different look into this one here. There is Farinda Balkan plays a character in this that's they call her the witch, basically. She's a eccentric person in the community. And I grew up in a community not totally unlike this. This is it's a smaller community. I grew up in a fishing village. And whenever I see movies that have these more kind of communities that are more tight or more together, and you have this one person, this one kind of character that is getting kind of maligned. I can kind of relate to that. We had somebody in my that lived just outside of my town actually when I was a kid, and because he decided to be on his own, and because he was of a different he was from a different country, they often talked about him in hushed tones, like he was some mysteriously strange person, when actually it was just a guy that had gone through a hard time and wanted to be on his own after a rough World War II. So Don't Torture Duckling as a character, kind of like that. This is a girl that has been through some rough times, and when the murders of these little boys start to happen, she unfortunately bears the brunt of mob justice that is undeserved. And watch the film; it's absolutely fantastic. I've got two more here before I get into the box set. These are kind of bigger ones that was just to be what you would see them get later on. So we'll start off with what many consider to be the greatest Giallo ever made, but I would probably put The Torture Duckling up there with that. Well, this is probably the greatest commercial Giallo ever made. This is the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 of Giallo films. It takes everything that you've seen in previous Giallos, especially in the earlier Argento stuff, dolls it up to 11. Yes, that is a Spinal Tap reference, and just goes all out to give you this immensely satisfying film. Deep Red is a wonderful, wonderful film. It is led by David Hemmings, of course, who had did Blow Up. But this one, it's freaky, man. Watch for a little girl with a torturous little girl, an evil little girl with these really enigmatic eyes, because you'll look at her twice and then go watch Demons. And the beautiful young lady running the theater in Demons, she's that little girl grown up. It's really cool. This one here basically has the concept that a guy has seen a murder. There's something about that murder that he's seen that he knows can give him the clue to who the killer is, but it's just slightly out of reach. It's the trope that D'Argento would come to again and again in all of his Giallos. I think that here he probably did it best. My favorite Giallo by Argento is still Tenebrae, but I cannot doubt or deny the greatness that is Deep Red. I remember falling asleep once with the movie on, and having the soundtrack playing in the background. I had the most freaky, weird ass nightmares of my entire life. And for a guy like me, that's actually not a bad experience. Number 9, I actually do have the Criterion of this one as well. I'm just a really huge fan of this film. And yes, I'm Canadian. And yes, this is by a Canadian director. No, there's no bias. This is actually that good of a film. When David Cronenberg put out Videodrome, it was just an absolute masterpiece of cinema. It had one of my favorite singers in there, one of my biggest crushes, Debbie Harry from Blondie. And it had James Woods, who is an incredible actor, and we'll leave it at that. He's an incredible actor. But this is such a good film, and this is probably, no, this is, I got the Criterion edition. I can be unbiased here. This is the best edition of the film. Like, the Criterion edition is good, this is better. This is a better edition of the Cronenberg's video. Look at the beast that is this one here. This doesn't just include the Cronenberg movie Videodrome and a bunch of special features. No, this includes the early films of Cronenberg too. We got Transfer, we got Stereo, we got From the Drain, and Crimes of the Future. You know, one of these here got remade to become a pretty big film now. So this is its genesis right here. You get a massive hardbound book on Cronenberg, and it's just so good. Look at this art. Look at that just grotesque art. Isn't that wonderful? Long live the new flesh, right? I go back and watch this movie so many times. I actually watched this one last week when I was home here by myself, and I just kind of let it soak in, because Videodrome is one of my absolute favorite films of all time. So when you got that many great films, when you've gone that far with just your regular single Blu-ray releases, what possibly can be the box set that can top all of that? And is it one of the two that's behind me right now? Let's find out. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, this may not surprise you. When this set was announced, we were driving from we were in Newfoundland, and we were driving back to St. John's. We'd gone on a trip. My better half had gone on a business trip. We went together, and we'd stopped on the side of the road just into this like town to go out and just order it, actually, to do the pre-order. I miss pre-order times. That's one thing I missed is doing pre-orders. But it was for this right here. See, this is the Phantasm series, one of my favorite movie series of all time. I love dreamlike films. I love Don Coscarelli's work. Beastmaster, too, is another absolutely fantastic film that even my better half does adore. This box set is, for me, the Phantasm box set. I know there's a Well Go USA box set as well, that if I got cheap enough, I'd buy it, just have them both, because I'm a massive Phantasm fan. But this is my Phantasm box set. It's utterly fantastic, and as you'll see, it comes with some bonuses here. So it includes on this one here all of the Phantasm films, all 5 of them. The 4 that were done by Don Coscarelli, and the 5th one that was directed by David Hartman. But we got the Phantasm 1979 with the 2016 remaster here. We've got Phantasm 2, which is kind of the mainstream Phantasm one. Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, followed by Oblivion, and Phantasm Ravager, which people were kind of iffy on. I didn't mind it. I don't think it had the charm that the original Coscarelli ones had, but still, being done by a different director, but being still produced by Coscarelli, at least the vision and the hand was still there. We've still not gotten to see the really epic Phantasm film that Coscarelli wanted to make, but this is a lot of fun. I'll just take this out really quickly to show you guys, because one of the neat things about this is, well, it has the ball, the spear, the super famous thing from this one right here. Let's see if I can get this in. So if you've ever watched Phantasm, then you know all about this spear, like, coming towards you. And somewhere along the lines, I'm sure you're picturing saying, "Boy, right now because that really goes along this. And this is a gorgeous looking spear. There was an Anchor Bay edition that had the movies put inside of a big spear type thing. But look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this like the kind of like the coolest thing? I really think it is. I absolutely adore it. But let's try and get this out. Look at that. Comes out really easily. Such a nice set, so well put together. I recommend this Phantasm set. And what do the movies look like? Where are the movies at? Well, see, you just gotta take this thing out right here. And the movies each come in these little kind of cases that I absolutely adore. We get this one here for Phantasm. We get the one for Phantasm 2, Phantasm 3, Phantasm 4, Phantasm 5, and wait, what's this? It's the bonus disc. And what does the bonus disc have? Well, a bunch of interesting, really, really interesting stuff. We got like stuff from a documentary called Phantasmagoria. This here is such a bloody good set, and if you've never picked it up, I went between this one, back and forth between this one and the Hellraiser set, because I have that as well, the Scarlet Box, and that was another case of us literally stopping the car in the middle of the really kind of in the middle of the road and ordering the release. I think Arrow may be the only company that we ever did that with. I can proudly say choosing this, as hard as it was so obviously the choice, the right choice, the only choice. Or sort of is. Because you see, as always, if you're a member or a patron, the subscriber, then what you're going to see come up next is, well, the alternate 5 with a twist. Because, we will do the 4 Blu-rays and a box set. But this is Arrow Video. This is special. There's more than one video coming for the Arrow release. So look forward to those, because when this drops, you'll probably be dropping not just one, but at least 2 other alternate videos. Hope you check that out. So if you're not a Patreon member, you're not a member, now's the time to jump aboard and get all those extra cool little vids if you want to. And either way, let me know in the comment section down below your Arrow top 10. I want to hear your 9. I want to hear your 1 box set. Challenge yourself. It is going to be 1 really hard, but 2 really freaking fun. My name is Aaron. This has been the Call to Cinema. I will see you next time. Now listen to the wise words once again of Mr. Sloth, because I'm going to say it right now. He kind of has a sexy voice. I do kind of like his voice. Let's hear what he has to say.
Oh God. Subscription Sloth here. Just want to remind you that I know in the summertime especially it can be super warm and lazy. But if you're liking this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to go that step further and join the Patreon, there's a link for that down below. You can super sticker, super chat, or donate. But above all, just lie back and enjoy the video, because that's what I'm going to do.